We're on it.
I want to call to order the August 14th, 2018 meeting of the Utilities Committee meeting of the Ascension Parish Council. Everyone please stand for the prayer and remain standing in the pledge of allegiance. In the name of the Father, Son, and Holy Spirit. Dear Lord, we thank you for this day. Lord, on this second anniversary of the worst flood we've ever known in this area, we still have scores of people trying to rebuild. We also have scores of people trying to put their life together. Lord, put your hand on this shoulder and let's continue this travel, this journey back to whatever you will take us. We ask this in the name of your Son, Jesus Christ. Amen.
Amen.
I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call. Please note that Mr. Satterley and Mr. Turner are not present. Be no chairs additions. Public comment, anyone wishing to speak on an agenda item, please sign in and we'll give you time to speak when that comes up. Director's report. Mr. Daniels, do you have anything you want to report, sir?
Yes, sir, I do. I would like to let you all know that we have been in very serious discussions with the USDA on a number of different aspects of utilities in Ascension Parish. We had a 3-hour meeting on the water plant last Thursday and a 2-hour meeting with sewer on Friday. So I did get word on the sewer system that they'll be unable to give us any grant money because the service area encompasses too high of an income producing area, but they're still willing to make us a very competitive 40-year loan on that. Now the water plant we're still working on. We should have everything done by the end of the month. So before we actually, make any applications or do anything, of course, we'll go over everything with the committee so that you'll know exactly where we're at and where we'll be at with USDA. But it's we're putting a lot of effort into trying to get this thing done before the end of the month because they told us they got a lot of money to spend and they want to help us, but we have to do it by the end of the month. So we've been working on it really for almost 2 weeks. So I think we're in really good shape to make the end of the month. So what we'll have at the end of the month is we'll have an idea of how much money we're going to spend, what we're going to spend the money on, and it's going to be pipes and meters and some improvements to the water plant that just can't wait. We're going to try to merge PUA and ACUD1 into one water system where we'll only have one permit, one water system with USDA. We have the model working. They've developed the hydraulic model for the 2 plants. So I feel like we're going to have a lot more information in a couple of weeks.
Thank you, sir. Is that it? Any questions for Mr. Daniel?
Glad to hear it's looking at the entire system.
I do want to tell you that we're very, also in the last meeting you said we would like to have a handbook of all the rules and regulations. Mm-hmm. We're about 3/4, well, how far would you say? We're 3/4 or halfway through? We're about halfway through. I was being a little optimistic. We're about halfway to having that done. So the plans are to finish it up, bring it to the committee for approval, and once we get a sign off from the committee, then we'll put it on our website so that everybody can see all the rules and regulations, all the fees, everything. It's going to be very comprehensive. It's going pretty well so far. We just need a little more time to finish it up. We got so many things going on. It's very exciting, but we do have a lot of balls that we're juggling in the air.
Thank you, sir.
I also got all of the SOPs for running the plant pursuant to that contract with Owen and White, and we're going through those as well, and they're pretty thick. So that's the other project we have going on. And then we're having a kickoff meeting tomorrow morning to put all the SCADA on the towers, the ground storage tanks, so that we'll have much better information in the future going forward on all of our, to help make decisions.
Yes, sir.
So-
Mr. Johnson.
What is Owen and White doing with the procedures? Because we had, I forget the name of the company we had, when we first bought the plant, that's been helping us work with it, that's supposed to have helped us develop those. So I mean,
You're talking about TMB?
yes.
Yeah, so TMB is now just providing us with chemicals, and they're doing a great job. They're helping us with our water quality. We just felt like it would be better to have the procedures and the chemicals and the water quality separate. So you weren't here when we approved that contract with Owen and White to do that. They've gone through and gave us a complete evaluation of the water plant.
Okay.
Mr. Joseph?
Yeah, when, on that procedure, didn't we hire, a guy from St. James to help us to?
We did.
Well, yeah, I'd just like to know where he at in this process.
He sort of decided he wanted to stay retired, Councilman, so.
Okay, so that's how we end up shifting it to somebody
Yes.
else. Okay, all right.
And it would have been a very long process with him, because we were, he was doing some stuff at the plant and then writing the procedures, and we just felt like it was more important to get these things done and get them finished, and so now we have them. So we're ready to move on.
Thank you, sir. With that, we'll move on to agenda item number 6, approval of professional services contract between Hartman Engineering and Parish of Ascension to design a connection to the existing and future sewer services to LA 42 sanitary sewer lines.
Yes, I have a handout I'd like to distribute.
Sure. Mr. Daniels, you got one of these, you familiar with it? Good deal.
So this is a fairly straightforward project. It includes design of approximately 1,400 linear feet of gravity sewer, which includes a subsurface installation of about 100 linear feet to move sewer from the north side of 42 to the south side where the sewer line is currently installed.
Mm-hmm. Is this like moving a mountain, or we got enough gravity for this to, when we come across the street?
You should have what you need to. Are you asking if we have enough fall to get
Yes.
from one?
Mhm.
We should have it. Doing
Okay.
just a preliminary, taking a preliminary look at it, we should have enough.
And it's, when it crosses the street, it's going directly into a gravity line,
It's going into a manhole.
going into a manhole. Good deal. Yes, Mr. Joseph?
Is this gonna interfere with anything they're doing on 42 as far as construction?
If we're going to take a look at that, that's why we want Hartman to take a look at design and see if we need to acquire any servitude beyond that, the boundaries of the current project.
Okay.
Motion.
We have a
Second.
motion by Mr. Johnson, second by Mr. Joseph. Any discussion? More? Any opposition? Mr. Daniel, you on board with this, sir?
Yes, sir, this is a good project. We don't have sewer on that side of the Highway 42, and this is gonna allow us, when that property gets developed, all those people will be able to tie in.
Good deal. No objection? Motion passes. We'll move on to agenda item number 7, Parish Utilities of Ascension Monthly Water Audit. Report.
So, I'd like to, right before I go into the water audit report, I'd like to introduce you to the plant manager at the water plant. This is Jason Lichardi. Lichardi, I was close. So Jason just wants to tell you a little about the operations of the plant from his standpoint since he got there. Jason's has 20-something years of experience operating water plants. He's a certified 4 operator. And we're very fortunate and very pleased to have Jason at the plant.
How are y'all doing?
Welcome.
My name is Jason Lichardi. I've been a water treatment operator for 23 years. I have my 4s in treatment, distribution, and production. I have my 1s in sewer collection and treatment. Lived through Katrina as essential personnel in St. Bernard, and I was there for 20 years, and I did 3 in St. John as well. So we have a little different understanding of the way the plant runs now than when it did previous. I think I met a couple of y'all. I know I met Mr. Joseph at the Crawfish Boil, I believe. I know that the plant capacity has been called into question, and there have been a few issues about water quality. Basically, the quality that y'all were producing, or they were producing previous to me, was fine quality. You didn't have a quality issue. What you had was a quantity issue. And the quantity issue was addressed by going to a constant flow on our filters. Instead of the plant trying to keep pace with demand, we run the same demand all the time and use our storage as a buffer. So we're able to do that. If you drive the Baton Rouge and I drive Baton Rouge and you do 75 and I do 55, I'm going to get a lot better gas mileage, but you're going to get there quicker. Is the easiest way I can explain it to you. And by doing that, we've been able to be more efficient with our process. We've taken measures to cycle our tanks a little better, so we reduced the need for flushing. Some flushing is still necessary and absolute, but we've been able to minimize it, and we're producing 1.5, 1.6 million gallons a day at the same rate all day instead of trying to keep up with demand at the high demand times. We're cycling our tanks differently so we keep a better residual, and it reduces the need for flushing. We've got a 1.2 residual on Bro Road, which is usually our trouble spot, and the McCall Tower is in service and functioning as it's supposed to. Previously, it hadn't been in service, and we were just running water through it. We aren't dumping tanks at the cost of 150,000 gallons in some cases, or running tanks over. One of the manuals I saw said run the elevated storage tank over for 2 hours every Thursday night. So we're not doing that. So we're being more efficient with what we have. We're producing good quality water, and we're getting it where we need to.
Good deal.
Right.
Yes, Mr. Joseph.
Yeah, I just want to know what tower that was that we run it over. What tower that was?
The memo I saw said we were supposed to run elevated storage tower over, which is the one on 4th Street, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay, that's fine. That's all I wanted to make sure, because I know none of them in AC1. That's PUA.
I have a picture in my phone. I can show you me on a call.
No, that happened, but it's not a procedure.
Right? No.
That's different.
We were setting the altitude valve, and it's a little give and a little take, and you got to find out where that sweet spot
Definitely,
is.
I understand that. Okay, but when you said it was in a manual, that
it
know
was-
ACUD1 didn't have it.
No, it was actually in the night operator sheet.
It was standard operating procedure.
Yes, sir.
And it was in the night orders, as
Yes,
we
sir.
would say in the plant.
Yes,
And that was
sir.
before we purchased it. That was done through Peoples, correct?
No,
I
that
don't
was
believe
after
so. I think it was
Okay.
after you purchased it.
Okay.
The other stuff that was called into question, the financials, well, that's above my purview, and all I can do is work with what I have and give you the most efficient plant that I can give you.
Yeah.
Good.
Mr. Johnson.
So if I understand or if I remember correctly, the McCall Tower is one that we've had issues with having enough usage out of that tower and so forth. Have we resolved those issues, or what are we doing to compensate for it?
We have resolved those issues. Initially, when I got here, right after the freeze, that valve on the drain line was busted. So they had just been doing what they had to get a residual in that tower. Since then, they replaced it, and it is up, running, and functional. It is actually the primary drive on the ACUD system for probably 6 to 8, maybe even 10 hours, depending on usage. We haven't got to be able to program it in automatic yet, but we know where it needs to be at this point. In the morning when I come in, I stop at Palo Alto, and I turn the pumps on. We fill a Palo Alto tank, then it fills the McCall tank. When it finishes filling the McCall tank, we shut it off, and we fly off of McCall pressure for pretty much until 5 or 6 o'clock in the morning. Then Palo Alto tank will kick in, and as it runs down about 13.5 feet, the skid will kick back on with one pump. Problem is, one pump doesn't drive the system enough pressure to fill a McCall tower, and all it does is lock out the Palo Alto tower. And if you allow it to run for more than a couple of days, your residual in Palo Alto fails. So it needs to cycle, just like we have with the Highway 70 and elevated storage tank. We've got them to cycle enough to keep a good residual in those tanks.
Where are you at as far as staffing within the plant? How many operators do you have, and what level of certifications?
We have 4 Class 3 that are working 36 and 48. We have 2 1s, 1 1 and 1 2. We definitely could use another qualified operator.
I'm the newest twos. I
We have
passed
2
my
twos.
twos in production and treatment, so, and I will take my threes in November.
Well, next time, we'd expect you to come here in your coveralls, wearing the brand on your
Listen,
chest.
I'm the emergency relief.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, sir.
All right, thank you.
Just to recap kind of some of the conversation tonight is that we did have TMB that basically kind of got us straight on some of the operating and getting the water quality and the chemicals straight. And they worked through and they looked at some of our operating procedures and worked it on. And then Owen and White was brought in. They did a full review of it, and you know, love them, hate them, whatever. They're good at water business, and
They're definitely good at the water
their,
business.
Their SOPs, we expect good production out and good operating procedures out of their SOPs. And then, you know, with Jason, some of the things that he's tackled, that will continue to move forward.
Well, now you know why I sleep much better at night, because Jason's in charge of the water plant. So it has been a breath of fresh air having Jason there.
Okay. Is that the end of the
No, sir, I want to
water
go
audit
over the,
report,
I want
or
to
you
go over
wanna
the
go through
monthly,
the real report?
I want to go over the monthly June. So again, we billed out, we metered 24 million gallons of water, which is up from previous month. Our summer employees who have gone home, they has helped us tremendously on matching the meters up to the owners, and so we're in the numbers, so we're very thankful to have had them. We sold about 5.7 million gallons to ACD number 1, so that is up as well. But the most exciting number is the unaccounted for water loss was only 3.8 million gallons this month, which is in a very good range. We've been fixing a lot of leaks, and in fact, that Avent woman, turns out there was a leak there. Floyd walked about 1.5 miles of line before he found it. So we've got her taken care of now. So we are catching up on the leaks. I can't promise you that we won't have a bunch of leaks the next month that we can't find, because this pipe is old, and that's the whole purpose of the USDA grant, is to try to replace it. But we are definitely doing better.
Are we logging and monitoring the type when we go in to see actually what kind of pipe we got in the ground? And,
Yes,
And
we
the diameter and take a core sample and see how much calcium it's got in it,
Well, I
how
don't know
much
if we
crud
take
it's
a
got
core
in, and all
sample.
that good stuff.
But we're definitely keeping track of the
I
type
know
of pipe
Jason
and the,
is.
and we're also, we're about to make CF its own meter. We have to tie in a short section of line and put in a couple of more valves. We got a price on those valves today. I think Floyd got in touch with you about those valves. So as soon as we install those valves, we can have CF on its own system so that we can, and we're going to put a new meter there so that we can monitor exactly what CF is using. I don't expect there to be any big surprises, but we'll know for sure.
Time will tell.
We're also having the Rural Water Association come out tomorrow, I think, and they're going to check the valves at the plant with their equipment to see how far off we are on our meters. So that's the water report for
They're
the
gonna
month.
calibrate, or they just comparing?
They're just going to
Compare.
we have some valves that we don't have a lot of confidence in, Mr. Chairman, and so they're going to come out and actually measure the actual amount of water going through it with their meter compared to what we're seeing.
Strap on me.
Yes, sir.
That control valves you talking about, or?
No, these are actual meters. We have a
Meters,
meter.
meters.
If you look at the number one, the top of the volume from own sources, 58 million. So our production meter accuracy, we only think it's 90%. You know, it may be 80%, maybe 110%. I mean,
Right.
I don't know, but that's what we're going to check tomorrow. And treating the water this month, I guess that's the next item on the agenda.
Can I ask a question?
You can ask as
Yeah.
many questions as you like, Councilman.
Mr. Daniel, on those summer workers,
Yes, sir.
I know they went around Downsville a whole lot. What did they find out when they, I'm pretty sure what we did was reconcile on some of the meters, and how much did we find that some houses had one meter, maybe two houses was on one meter, or?
I don't have the report in front of me, Councilman,
Okay.
but I'll bring that to you. We need a couple of more people to finish it up.
Okay,
And we got them started late. We got the procedure now, so next summer we'll get some. They're very helpful. They do a lot of things, and they're really they were really quite bright in working. So we were very pleased. I'll get you a full report on that.
yeah, I mean, I'd just like to know what we found out, why they was there,
Right.
you know, meter accuracy or.
They know where some mean dogs are and some mean people, but
Well, yeah.
I heard about those.
I definitely need that report. I want to make sure I don't go in those yards too.
Okay.
That's it.
That's it.
All right. We'll move on to agenda item number 8. Parish Utilities of Ascension, cost per 1,000 gallons of water produced.
So this month, we were at $4.50 per 1,000 gallons. It's up slightly from the previous month, but then again, we have expenses that kind of vary from month to month. We had some engineering service in this month that kind of sort of artificially
Bumped it up.
pushed it up a little bit, and some repairs and maintenance, which artificially put it up. But we're doing really well. You can see that we've come down from $5 and $6. We're really kind of in the, I'd say, the $4 range now, so we're doing much better. And a lot of that is credit to Jason and how he's helped optimize and make the plant run much more efficiently.
Madam Secretary, you got another packet like this? I need one for Mr. Johnson and Mr. Joseph.
No, I got it
You
on my
got
computer.
yours? Okay,
I got used to bringing my computer.
thank you.
I got it right here.
So William, what, at $4.50 a gallon, you said, and it got some expenses, outside expenses that bumped
Right,
that
it's
up.
got
That'll
some-
happen month to month. What's, if we peel that away, what's a good dollar value?
Well, I think that we're going to get down below at $3 here in the future, but we're going to have to spend some money to do that and make some repairs. And at the same time that we do that, I think we're going to get the capacity of the plant up to pretty close to the 3 million capacity, but we're going to have to do some things there as well.
Yes, Mr. Johnson.
And even though the capacity of the plant is 3 million, I mean, what do we see as a usage on a daily basis?
Oh, well, we don't, I mean, we're using like about 1.7, 1.8 million, 1.6 million.
1.6.
Yeah.
What-
So, I mean, we're not really pushing the plant to make 3 million right now.
No, we don't need it to make, but we do want to add that extra, we do want to have the extra capacity for emergencies, and we want to tie it into ACUD number 1. So we do want to have that extra
Right.
capacity.
What's your
But I
combined,
mean, the capacity is there something there that's preventing us from running 3 million a day inside the plant?
We have a couple of filters down now, so that is an issue, but we're getting those back in. And then we're going to need to replace some pumps, actually, within the capacity of the pumps would keep us from getting up to 3 million. There's a crack in the wet well that apparently we knew about when we bought it, that is going to keep us from getting all the way to 3 million. But other than that, just replacing the equipment, replacing some pumps, getting those filters back into operation. You know, we also we have that, we're going to look at that bin 1 rules that we violated last time. We had a choice of either putting in equipment to take care of it or trying to keep the turbidity lower. And we're going to re-examine that decision that was made by Peoples back in 2012 as well, so that, you know, we may put some more equipment in for that too.
Yeah, but I mean, the plant was designed for 3, and okay, so you got a filter 2 out, that's routine maintenance, and those, you're gonna have issues at times where you're not able to reach capacity in the plant. And the pumps, if you're having an issue with the pump, is a wear and tear, and the pump has been in service for a long period of time, your impeller's worn down and it can't reach rate.
They're designed to pump about 2.25 million a day, I think, is that?
The pump's rated 15.
Come on up.
The raw water pump that we have is rated for 1,550 gallons a minute. I believe it's 2.2 million. To run more than 2.2 million, we'd have to use both pumps at the same time, preferably in a variable speed capacity, which we don't have at this time. The motor is set up for it, but we don't have the drive.
Right.
And that's what's keeping us from going to a constant flow, which is the most efficient way of processing the water. Right now, our raw water pump starts and stops, and that's what Mr. Wade was talking about, is the flume meter that we're using. The water goes through a flume, and we measure the height. That's how it calculates how much water we're running. It's old technology, not that it's bad technology, but it's old technology, and we don't know the accuracy of it because we're starting and stopping. If we were under constant flow all the time, I'd have much more faith in it being correct. We're going to put an ultrasonic meter on it tomorrow and find out how much water we're bringing in, and we'll have a much more accurate number on how much more water we're filtering.
Right.
But the current capacity of the raw water pump is, I have one that's capable of 1,550. We have one pump that's shaking loose, and I believe they're pulling, tomorrow's Wednesday, they're pulling it tomorrow. And our standby is questionable and in for service order.
But I mean, and my point of it is that we're saying we don't have the ability to run the capacity, and we do. You've got some mechanical issues that you need to resolve, but at the end of the day, and there's some things we want to do to optimize the plant to be even more efficient than what we are. But if push comes to shove, once you get those mechanical repairs done, the plant can run 3 million if we needed it to do.
Close to it.
2.88 is what,
Right.
I think is what the max rate on the filters are. It's 3 gallons per square foot, square inch.
Right.
And it's right at 3 million, 2.9. But, you know, where would we put it?
Right. Well, and that's the whole thing, right?
You know?
That's part of my question, is that we say we're looking for capacity on the plant, but in reality, we don't need the capacity because we're only putting out about 1.5.
Right.
And so there's no need to have the 3 million, through the plant today, but we've got the ability to do it for the future, like what we talked about and those type of things. So it's not like we're in any kind of dire need as far as what the plan is talking about. We just want to make some efficiencies and improvements to
Yeah,
bring it up a
we
little
have-
bit more to where, in current standards.
We
What
have
is-
some
what it-
mechanical issues that need to be addressed, and other than that, our biggest problem is capacity. Not capacity of the plant, capacity of our storage.
Storage
Right.
capacity.
Storage does a wonderful
what it-
thing, gives you a lot of options.
What is, do you have an idea with the two combined companies, what is your need when you combine the,
I mean, I can't.
Storage between
Five
ACD one and,
5 million a day for ACD number 1.
I mean.
Plus, we still buy a little from,
we setting up with-
yeah. We should have plenty of capacity to combine them.
okay. Yeah, I just,
and that's not necessarily gonna push you to 3 million a day with.
Not even close.
Supplying
No.
both of them.
Not even close.
Right.
Not even close. But as we do those things that we're talking about to increase the capacity, you'll see the costs come down because we're going to become much more efficient.
Right.
good deal.
So that's my report.
Well, I would just say that, hey, on the, just recapping the meeting on the SOPs in place and how they're trained and it fits into the actual operation of the plant compared to that personal plant. That's very important to us. Everything for the handbook, the employee handbook, and the training on that. And we appreciate continued efforts on certification of employees.
I do want to, and I'm glad you mentioned training, Mr. Chairman, because, we had operators prior to Jason getting here that were told, do this. They didn't know why. They didn't know what for. They just knew they were supposed to go out and do this or that. Jason has spent a lot of time mentoring a lot of these people, and so that everybody has a much better understanding of how the plant works and how they fit into the overall operation of the plant, which is, again, why everything is running so much better now.
Yeah, just please continue to embrace your employees. They're the ones that make it work every day, get the water out the end of the pipe, all right? Mr. Joseph.
Mr. Daniel, I got the,
I'd walked away.
I know
Councilman.
you was ready to go, I understand, but this was concerning the letter you sent the customers out on the,
Yes, sir.
right, the issue of, got a lot of phone calls, and I just want to reinstate to make sure this letter was sent out late because we was notified late, and this had nothing to do with the current water condition in the last month. This had to do with the.
It had to do with the freeze. We sent it out within the prescribed time that we were notified. If we didn't, we would have been cited by EPA. So we sent it out as soon as we were notified. Even LDH missed, that they didn't know that we were under that particular segment of rules. And when they discovered it, they notified us, and we sent the letter out timely.
Okay. And one more question is, what is the timeline that you're going to be relocating the office, the billing office?
Oh, they told me within about a month.
Okay. All right. Would you be, you're going to
We're
send
go-
some?
Oh, yes, sir, we're going to have a grand opening.
Well, I ain't worried about the grand opening, just making sure they know where to go at.
We'll make sure everybody knows where to go, and we'll give people a lot of advance notice, and it's going to be a much better situation for both our employees and the customers who come there.
Yeah, I think we gave them your phone number and your address.
They already got
In case they
that.
get
Wait, hold on.
confused.
They already got that. That's why I'm trying to make sure they get Daniel one, not mine.
Are they dropping off checks there, Councilman?
So, all right, that's all I have, Mr. Daniel. Thank you.
Yeah, William and staff, just to wrap up, as, we like the good looks and the continuing efforts in water. It's a long trail and it's a long journey, okay? And just as a committee, we're gonna continue to work towards sewer and working on the major sewer projects, including East Bank for sure. And with anything else for the staff? Ms. Joseph?
I mean,
Ms.
it's a
Johnson?
good report.
Yep.
the chair would entertain a motion to adjourn.
Motion.
Second.
We have a motion by Mr. Johnson, second by Mr. Jones to adjourn. Any discussion? Any opposition? We are adjourned.